Good morning, class 10th. Children, today we will be starting further with photosynthesis, and please see that we will be discussing the events of photosynthesis. I mean, in how many steps photosynthesis is completed. Let us take a recap first of all. By this time, you people have learnt about the proper formal definition of photosynthesis, a balanced equation to the pigments that participate in photosynthesis, and then you have learnt about the ultrastructure of chloroplast. Right, children? Apart from this, I have also told you about the opening and closing of stomata with respect to the sugar concentration theory and the potassium ion concentration theory. Right, children? So now we will be proceeding further with the process of a photosynthesis, that how it gets completed. Right? Please listen to my words very carefully, because I will be telling you time to time what term has to be used, what is not to be used, do's and don'ts, everything I'll be letting you know. Right, children? Before we start with any other detail, if you can see, the first photosynthesis is completed under two headings: light dependent reaction and light independent reaction. Just understand the difference between the two. Light dependent reaction means all those reactions which need light as a compulsory thing. Right? So light is necessary for the reactions. All those reactions are included under the heading light dependent reactions, and the other one is light independent reaction. Light independent reaction does not mean that it is taking place in dark only. Light independent reaction means that it is not dependent on light. It hardly matters whether the light is present or not. Dark reaction is going to take place. Light independent reaction is also known as dark reaction. Similarly, light dependent reaction is also known as light reaction. Right, children? Apart from this, some extra informations according to your syllabus. Light dependent reaction, since it involves light and various chemical reactions would go on, so this phase is also known as photochemical phase. In boards, this is asked sometime as a one-word question, or sometimes as match the following, that photochemical phase, it is the other name for. So light dependent, the one which needs light, is a photochemical phase, and the one which does not need light, that is a biosynthetic phase. Why we are calling it biosynthetic? Because here some biotic, or you may say some organic content is produced or synthesized naturally. So here that organic content is sugar or glucose, if you say. Right, children? So first thing is, light dependent reactions need light for their completion. Light independent reactions do not need light for their completion. Light dependent reaction is also known as a photochemical phase, whereas light independent reaction is also known as biosynthetic phase. Light dependent reaction is known as Hill's reaction. Because this is something which was given by Robert Hill, so just on that name, Hill's reaction is there. And biosynthetic phase, the dark reaction, is also known as Blackman's reaction. So this is something to be learnt up there, so take care of these words. And the last difference here, that light reactions, all the reactions which are taking place in light, they all are occurring in the thylakoid of the chloroplast. Must understand that. Whereas when you talk about the dark reaction, it will take place in the stroma of the chloroplast throughout the day simultaneously. I hope you people understand now that okay, light reactions, let them go on in the presence of light, because they cannot take place in dark, but light independent reaction, they can occur in light as well as dark because they are hardly affected by presence of light. This is what I am trying to say. The other thing here is a diagram. This is just to let you know that this is a chloroplast and this is something you drew last time, and the grana are present here. The collective term is grana, but one single pile is thylakoid, and the ground material, the liquid which is filled in this chloroplast, is known as stroma. So this grana is for light reaction and this stroma is for dark reaction. Right, children? If you can see at the bottom, I have drawn a magnified structure of a thylakoid. So if you just take out one coin-like structure from this grana, how it appears? Isn't it appearing like a dark fantasy chocolate biscuit? Yes, the outer double membranous structure and inner lumen is filled with the ground material. So this lumen means the empty space in the center, right? And apart from this, I'm just clearing it off. Apart from this, if you can see that I have drawn two yellow lines to show that photons are falling on this thylakoid. Children, few things you need to understand here, that when I have used the term photon, I am trying to indicate a dual nature of light, which is wave as well as particle, right? So here we are talking about the particle nature, where the smallest unit of light packet is known as photon. This photon is actually trapped by the chlorophyll, which is present here in the membrane of the thylakoid. That's why the whole membranous structure is green in color, because chlorophyll is present here. Right, children? Apart from this, some extra knowledge. Just understand that during photosynthesis, only the visible light is utilized out of all those electromagnetic radiations. Only the visible light, you people must be knowing Vibgyor, that means a range of violet to red, right? This is the light that is taken up by the plants, but here the violet light and the red light, both ends are actually absorbed by the pigments, but it's only the green color which is not absorbed by the pigment. That's why the plants appear green to you, because this is the only color which is reflected back. Rest all the colors, up to some extent, more or less, they are absorbed by the chlorophyll. Right, children? So this video includes this much only. I'll be proceeding in my next video.